It upon himself to get the blunt wraps ready for the blunt rolling competition that is going to happen here in just a few minutes.
Momentarily.
Be Real from Cypress Hill is in the studio with us. You can watch this live on our website, power1067.com.
Do it.
Before we get into the blunt wrapping competition, before the break we talked about a little bit about the beef between you and Ice Cube.
Right.
That you guys had, which is now squashed.
Yeah, been squashed since 1997.
But it was because he heard a song of yours.
Right.
Asked you if you basically said, hey, can I use that song?
Yeah.
You said no.
Yeah, we said we couldn't give it to him because it was our, it was going to be our single. Sony was, deeply, they were feeling this single, and, we didn't think that they would allow us to give it to him. So, we had to say no to him. We didn't really want to because he was our good friend, and, it was a movie he was doing, so we wanted to support him in any way we could. But, we had to stay strong on that because it was our single.
And then the next thing you know, he took it anyways.
We were on tour. I can't remember. I believe we were in Europe, and, I get a call from one of our people back home. I think it was family that said, hey, one of your friends needs to speak with you. They don't have your number out here, so I'm letting you know. So I reached out to one of my boys, and they're like, hey, man, did you guys give Ice Cube your Throw Your Set in the Air song? Like, no, man, what? We give him Roll 'em Up, Light 'em Up. We thought they confused it. Said, nah, man, it's not Roll 'em Up, Light 'em Up, because he's actually on the song saying Throw Your Neighborhood in the Air. And we're like, what? No,
that's the one with the blah, blah, blah,
yeah,
right? That one.
Oh yeah, throw your neighborhood in the air like you don't care, which is throw your set in the air, wave it around like you just don't care.
Right.
And so we're like, that sounds crazy. That can't be true.
Right.
So then we get home and we hear the song and we're like, okay, it's true. And Muggs and Sendog, they didn't take too kindly to it. It didn't really affect me too much because I thought, I influenced one of my,
peers,
one of my peers and one of the guys I look up to as, a place I'm trying to get to as an MC, like the quality and how people look at Ice Cube. I was trying to get there, so I was actually flattered to a degree. You know what I mean? And but Sen and Muggs weren't, and they went on Power 106 back home.
Right, in LA.
Yeah, and
so Big Boy's responsible for all this beef, huh?
I don't know if it was Big Boy.
It was before Big Boy.
I think it was the Baker Boys.
Oh, okay.
And so they went on, the air, and they obviously aired out their grievances about that. And Cube was in South Africa at the time, and his boys heard the interview, and so I get a call from Ice Cube at 3 in the morning, like asking me, hey, what's going on? And I heard you guys are dissing me. I'm like, well, look, bro, I didn't diss you, but
you're calling me at 3 in the morning, player. Come on now. Like, I get it, it's 7 in the morning in Africa, but come on.
I'm like, hey, look, I didn't diss you, man, but the other guys felt like you stole our deal, man. We played you what we played you, and next thing you know, the chorus we hear is very similar, man.
Right.
How do you expect us to feel? And he goes, well, I wouldn't steal from my friends.
Wait, but he's trying to convince you of that. You're all, fool, I played you the song. Like, remember when they interviewed Vanilla Ice about his copyright? And he goes, yeah, Michael did it. Tell me Cube didn't say that.
No, what he said is, he goes, look, this is hip hop, man. A lot of us come up with the same sort of ideas, and it just happens, man. I wouldn't steal from my friends. That's what he said.
Right.
So I said, fair enough, dude. I'll talk to these dudes and squash it out, right?
Right.
And so I talked to them, and they were like, all right, whatever. They were still kind of like,
Muggs was mad. He was mad, though.
Oh, Muggs is he's a dude you don't play with. You don't play with any of us, but the least of them all.
Mitch? You see, Matt, I told you, didn't I?
He'll
whoop your ass.
You don't play with any of us, but least of all, you don't play with Muggs. And so, but it took him a while, and he calmed down for a second about it. And then Cube called me into a session to do some stuff for Caution, which was a kids group he was working with. And he wanted me to say a line that they didn't want to have to sample because Sony would have raked them over the coals for the Cypress Hill sample.
Right.
And it was, ain't got no class was the line. So he wanted me to come do that live so that they didn't have to sample. So I went and did it. And as I'm hearing the song, I'm hearing certain terms that were in my Throw Your Set in the Air song, which was terminology that we created as Cypress Hill. Like California and Los Angeles was never called Los Scandalous or California up to that point.
Right.
We created that terminology,
Yeah.
and there was other stuff in there within that song that was our lingo, and he took some of it and applied it to what he was doing with Caution and his own stuff. So when I'm in the studio, I hear that line that says from the city of Los Scandalous or something like that. I was like, damn, he actually did steal it, because I mean, there's no way that they would have came up with that on their own without hearing it from us. And I made this reaction, and at the time I made this reaction, a call came through, and I said, hey, just a second, I got to make a call. And maybe they thought I was calling Muggs or something, or, you know, some of the guys, whatever. But when I came back into the booth, that line wasn't there no more. And I thought, I just heard that line. It's not there anymore.
You know what I picture him doing? I picture him going, hey, yeah, take the line out. I told you to press mute on that track.
Now, you know, others probably would say, man, you're a stoner. You were high. That didn't happen. But I know what happened. I know what I heard. I know the lines that I wrote. I know the terminology I came up with for that particular album. And, you know, I know that it didn't exist out there. And when I heard it, and you could still hear it to this day if you listen to that Caution song, it's in there.
Right.
And, you know, that pissed me off, because he told me that he wouldn't steal from his friends, and here's yet another line in another project he's doing. So I immediately called Muggs and I said, we got to serve him.
Right.
We got to serve him just off.
And a lot of people may not realize, but it turned into a legit.
It turned into a beef. We started it off with No Rest for the Wicked, because he had put out Wicked, and that was his song.
Man, that was a cool track right
Thank
there.
you very much. And we served him with that one, and it hit him out of the blue, you know, because he didn't think we were going to do anything, because we were such good friends, you know.
Right.
And but we had to set it off, and nobody had set it off on him ever.
But you guys never ended up putting hands on each other.
No.
But
I didn't end up having to. You know?
I heard it was almost a legit war between Bloods and Crips.
No, not when even Bloods and Crips like that, because
It was just neighborhood versus neighborhood, or how did it
his
play
homies
out?
against mine, and then it almost got into a racial thing. But because I was a Blood, I had a lot of homies on that angle, you know, down with me.
Right.
He didn't know. He thought I was just like, you know, some wannabe Blood. And then at that, I'm half Mexican, so, you know, I had Mexican family that are also gangsters.
So you got 90% of Los Angeles behind you.
So, you know, we had a lot of people that he did not realize that were going to ride for us and ride with us. And you know, it got to a point where some of his own people, you know, were like riding with us. You know, Cam and Solo were a part of that.
Right.
And
Solo whooped Ice Cube's ass.
Apparently they met in the street.
Allegedly.
Allegedly they met in the street after a video shoot or something like that, and you know, they had words, and
Solo served him some chapped knuckles.
Solo apparently served him up and took the chain and watch, and he brought it over to me, and we took pictures with it. And
that's legit right there.
And you know,
Mitch, talk crap now to be real.
And
yeah, bro. What? What?
Jesus,
it was a joke.
You know, so then, you know, obviously he came with 2 records, King of the Hill, which was a good diss, and then we came with Ice Cube Killer and something else. We didn't wait too long to serve back the dish. I had one more in the pocket that I was going to serve up if we hadn't squashed it.
Right.
And if I had served that one up, it would have really turned ugly. You know what I'm saying? Because me and Cube were friends. We knew stuff.
Right.
See how I call myself?
I appreciate that.
we knew stuff about each other, but like he told me more about himself than I gave about myself, and you know, stuff that I could have used would have been really bad.
Can you let one slip today?
No, I can't do that.
Start some new beef.
But you know, I held on to it because I still had love for him. You know what I mean?
Right.
And in the end, I knew that this beef was real. But I also know that this guy is a businessman. He's, you know, all about controversy, and he knew it would do great for selling records for him. And obviously,
did he end up breaking you off some money for stealing your track?
No.
You guys just squashed it, and that was it?
No, we just squashed it. I told him what I told him, and I said, hey, look, we can keep this going, and one day we're going to run into each other.
Right.
And something's going to happen.
Right.
one of us is gonna get really hurt.
Right.
I don't plan on it being me.
He's like, I'm sorry.
No, he wasn't like that. He was.
This kid's not a punk either.
I can't sit here and try to lie and say that he was on a punk move. Like, oh man, I don't want to be fun.
Right.
No, he manned up with me, but he wasn't like trying to be over aggressive because he knew he couldn't be that way with me because I'm not that guy.
Did he ever admit to actually stealing you guys' song?
Not in that conversation. I don't think I even allowed him to because I was so pressed on telling him why I went at him, what my reasons for, and why I feel that he was wrong for what how he tried to spin it, and he just accepted it, and that was it. We squashed it right then and there.
Does it make you mad when if you've ever been driving in the car and the song comes on? You're like,
not really, because
do you get royalties off it now at least?
Nah, because it's a totally changeable lyric, and we never sued him for it. We weren't the type to go suing somebody like that, man. We didn't want to be like the artists before us, being sue happy against other artists, man. Because we felt like, man, there's supposed to be a brotherhood amongst artists. We know what it takes to suffer amongst each other, like to put off this music, what it takes to make it, what it takes to sacrifice pretty much your regular life that you had to do this. And so, you don't want to sue somebody for something like that. Yet we were getting sued left and right by, all these artists who, their back catalogs wouldn't even be selling if we hadn't sampled some of these records, man. I don't even appreciate that. So I looked at it like, man, I'm not going to sue another rapper for that. You know what I mean? I'm just going to go at him.
Shouldn't you give that advice to Drake?
Yeah. I'll give that advice.
Throw that one out there.
So it was like this, man. I didn't really go fully in on the whole thing because I knew at some point we would squash it because I love this dude.
Right.
I was in it like with sweating right there, man, chilling. And he was one of my favorite rappers, and he loved Cypress Hill. This dude would wear Cypress Hill shirts at his shows, videos. He'd go out of his way to like him and EPMD were probably the two artists that put more people on the Cypress Hill than anyone. So I respected that. So when this beef came, like I said, it was bittersweet. So at some point I was hoping that we would squash it so we can go back to being friends again because, Cube is a staple in California. You know what I mean? He helped build the hip hop scene in California, and there wouldn't be the type of hip hop that we do if he hadn't done it first. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, that I respected, and I was hoping at some point that we could get to the situation where we can squash it, as opposed to, us meeting and then me having to get enraged and put hands on him or get knocked out. Who knows?
Right.
I don't know what he's capable of, but I don't underestimate nobody.
He knocked Debo out, player. He knocked Debo out.
You know what I'm saying?
He also did our with their heads.
He got
a mean overright. He had a mean right hook.
He got a mean right hand in the movie. I got a mean left hand in real life.
All right, we got a break. When we come back, now all the serious talk is out of the way. When we come back, we'll do the blunt rolling competition. And then we'll also do a longest hit competition. Hits from the bong.
Okay, I want to just say this before we go into the break. Rolling oregano is much like rolling tobacco, which is not like rolling medicine.
Right.
The texture is completely different because
he's a professional about this medicine.
Let me break it down because this is an important factor. I lost a roll because of this one time. Yes.
Wait, have you had blunt rolling competitions?
On the Howard Stern show, I lost a roll to Jackie the Joke Man Martling because we were using tobacco, and tobacco does not roll up like medicine.
Right.
Oregano will not roll up like medicine. Reason being is tobacco is dry, oregano is very dry, and the medicine is not dry. It's sticky.
It's really professional. How I like the medicine is really sticky. The medicine is really sticky.
It's good. It's sticky.
It's very sticky. So, in terms of texture and shaping the blunt, it's a little bit harder with the drier stuff. So
you know what I say? It makes it more of a challenge.
It is more of a challenge. So let's just see what happens here.
See, I thought this was an original idea. I thought it was an original idea.
Well, listen,
but did Howard Stern?
We did it. With
did he have real medicine?
No.
Oh, well, that was going to be part two. I have zigzags too.
We did zigzags, and it was tobacco. Which Jackie the Joke Man's older than dust. He'd probably been rolling tobacco since he was 2.
Oh, I heard he taught Willie Nelson how to roll joints, man.
Yeah, Willie Nelson could roll with one hand. He's probably the one guy that can outroll me. Well, no, there's probably several, but I don't know.
I was in Fresno a few weeks back, and I was talking to this guy, and he goes, and then we'll break. This is just a funny story since we're talking about him. He goes, I met Willie Nelson, and he invited me backstage because he was in radio, you know. And he goes, I got to smoke with Willie Nelson. One hit and I was done. Willie Nelson was just blowing me out of the water. Do you still smoke a lot? Can you smoke out just about anybody that you compete with?
Anybody out.
You smoke more than Snoop Dogg?
He's all Snoop Dogg's and Pampers player.
Yo, be real, not me, man. You got a competition, bro.
You can't even say you can't. First you can't spell it, and then you can't even freaking say it, player.
Hey, listen. If there was a triathlon of weed smoking, nobody would have a chance.
You would have some serious gold medals, huh?
Yeah, but I don't want it.
I was talking to Mac.
He doesn't need the accolades.
I was talking to Mac 10 the other day. I said, what are you doing right now? He said, Mom, just woke up, rolling one up right now. Is that how you start your day?
Oddly enough, no, I don't. I used to wake and bake all the time, but my morning is my I get up at 7:30, hit the gym at 8, get out by 9:30. And then I'll smoke a joint.
And then go eat a bunch of food. So you're like, damn it, I gotta go to the gym again tomorrow.
No, man, I don't get the munchies like that, man. I'm like really disciplined, man. I've been on a different role lately, you know, as in the last 2 years on how I'm treating myself as far as, you know, diets go and workouts but the weed intake is actually pumped up more.
Well, we were talking with Crazy Bone.
I got more room in my lungs, I guess.
We were talking with Crazy Bone a couple weeks ago. We asked him, "Are you still? Do you still partake as much?" And he was like, "Nah, we slowed down a lot." But in your case,
I wish I could say that, but maybe deep down I don't wish that.
Let me ask you a question. I got a serious question for you, and you can tell me go to hell if you want. How much money a month do you spend on weed?
I don't.
Insurance pays for it. Son of a gun, I gotta move to California. I got it.
Medicare.
Hey, look, see, the thing is, my weed tolerance is always or my medicine tolerance,
right.
is up higher than most because I mean we consistently smoke. I mean it's our lifestyle. It's not just like something that we talk about because it's cool to talk about it.
Right.
I do a month. Well, not a big show. It's actually we do a show back home called the Dr. Green Thumb Show from 4 to 6 on my site BeReal.tv.
Right.
And every 20 minutes we're smoking around. You know, we make, you know, like on your guys' commercial breaks, you guys probably go in on the 50 or something like that in the 20.
You don't even do it, yeah.
That's when we do our smoke breaks. Because I used to
twice an hour. You guys are just blazing.
Their stop set is a pot set, basically.
Yeah, it's a pot set instead of a stop set. Because I used to work in radio back home. I used to work at 92.3 Beat. We had a Soul Assassin show down there.
It was before they screwed it all up.
Before they messed it all up.
Dude, that station's a mess.
They had a great thing going and they messed it all up. So I picked up a lot of things from when I was working in radio, and one of the things was the
20 and 50.
The stop set.
Did you see? Did you notice LB? Did you notice LB again? Wrap that up, B. Wrap it up, B. We got to go to break. All right. So when we come back, by the way, you can't watch all this live on our webcam at power1067.com. But when we come back, we'll do the blunt rolling competition, and then we'll do hits from the bong next.
Nice.